What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel on another video, just to let you know what's going on with Jamie's or Cano engine. Looking pretty good. We got a, I think it's a Bandery oil pump. Pretty nice oil pump. I'd be recommending that to everybody. We also use the new the boost line rods from Wiseco. I'm actually doing another 2 builds with the same rods, but man, they look pretty good. This one's had an upgraded rod bolts to a 625 plus, so yeah, this one's gonna be a lot better. And then I got the real tune 625 plus head stud or 629 plus head studs. They're also pretty fucking nice. And then this car is almost done, finally. We got Jeremy's car, intercooler. We got the exhaust. We got the powertrain lines all connected. But we find out that this line is cut for the powertrain line, so I'm gonna have to extend that. And then we're putting the charge pipe, and it's got a hole on the man, I don't know. Oh, right here. It's got a hole on this pipe, on this coupler right here. So yeah, right there. So we're waiting for one from AGP, and then we can fire this thing up. We got the turbo and everything set up over there. We need to move the lift because it's got a side exit, so we need to move the lift forward because it comes like right here, so we can finish installing this. And we got this nice STI in for some leak down test. They did a compression test, and we had I think it was 150 on this side, 150, 145, but on this one it was 135, 135. So it's a little bit of a difference, but it's not too crazy. Still between the specs. They just, he saw a little bit of smoke, but I think the smoke was because the tune that he was running. He was running crackle tune or whatever they call it when it pops. So when that happened, the tune is super rich, so the exhaust can pop like that. So that's probably why he saw the smoke, but he just want to make sure. So I did that side, and we got 3% leakage on number 1 and 2% on number 3, which is why one is 150, one is 145. It's a minimal difference, and that's just, you know, the valve seals. They probably have a little carbonation on it, or something in it that is not sealing right. It's not the piston rings, which is good. It's on the valves, but it's so minimum, so that side is good. Now we're gonna go ahead and do this side. So I'm gonna show you how to do that. You're gonna need obviously a leak down tester, something like this. This one is really nice. And of course you need an air compressor. So let me get the spark plugs, well, the coil packs and the spark plugs on this side, all the way down there. Where is it? Right here. Let me take that off. Let me connect it. It's really simple. You take the spark plugs out. You have this hose right here, and it goes right into the cylinder. And then you start adding pressure, and then you measure between the actual pressure and what's going into a cylinder and see how much is holding. And then you judge from there how much the percentage it is leaking, if it's leaking. And then you can start listening to the exhaust or the intake to see if it's exhaust valve problem, intake valve problem, or what you never want to hear is coming out of the dipstick or oil cap. If you start hearing air pressure coming out from the dipstick or the oil cap, then at that point you know it's piston ring, ring land, anything related to a bottom end build. So this motor was recently built, or was built right. Like I said, he just saw a little bit of smoke, so we just want to double check. They did machine the heads, so if they machine that head more than this head, you're gonna have higher compression on that side. And that's probably why he's got a little bit higher than this. Now, if they're the same, then it's a big chance that we might have a problem with the valves. It's just weird because both of them is 135, you know, so it's really weird that the both cylinders are the same. Most of the time, it's one cylinder is off and the other one is good. So I'm thinking that somehow the thickness of this head is larger than that one, and that's why this one has a little bit less compression. But again, it's between 15%, so still in the spec. And he's not super crazy with the car. I mean, he is running 20 pounds of boost on a I think it's man, I don't remember what turbo is it. Oh, it's FB green or FB black, something like that. Pretty nice turbo. But anyway, yeah, he's running like 22 pounds, and like I said, he only saw the exhaust on the crackle tune. Once he put the other tune, everything went away. So he just want a peace of mind that everything is good. So let me get to it, and then once I have everything connected, I'll show you guys what's up. All right, guys, I already took the spark plugs out of this thing. Already got my line over here, and I got my air, but I have it set up at 0. So let me connect this thing over here, like that. All right, so you need to make sure that the motor is atop the center. On any other engines, you know, a 4-cylinder is up. You can put a screwdriver. If it goes up, then you know stop the center. On this one, or any other car, you can turn on the crank until you see the pressure going up. For example, if I put, you know, 20, look at the crank moving, 20 psi, it moves, right? So I have it at 20, and it's at 0, which means that the valves are open. So what you do is you grab your crank, put pressure until you kind of match it, and then I'm doing all of them at 60 psi. So you hold the crank, make sure you hold the crank and go all the way. So this is your main, this is what needs to match. So we are right about 3% leakage, which is really, really good. This is for a good engine. So this cylinder again is good. It matches that cylinder. The number 2 is the only one that's a little bit lower. It's 2%. This is 3% or 2.5 if you want to call it. You want to call it that. But yeah, it's pretty good. Before you let off your crank, make sure you release all the pressure all the way down, and then you can release your crank. If not, this thing swings open, swings that way, and then you can break something. So this cylinder is actually good. I'm gonna go ahead and move this line to the number 4, and then do the same thing and see what we get. But looking at the spark plugs, it looks pretty good. Both cylinders, I mean both sides, look pretty good. So I don't think we're gonna have any problem with this engine. And I think the smoke that he was seeing, it was just the car running rich for the tune that he has. So this one is the most pain in the ass one, because it's right on the back, everything is on the way. But this engine bay is like super clean, so we have extra space. Most of the times they have like a windshield wiper reservoir here, so it's gone, so it makes it a lot easier. So let's do this again. All right, we connected, same thing. Let's put about 20. You see how this thing's not moving? So now let's fine top the tenor. You go really slow, and you're gonna feel the tension on the crank right away. And that's when you know you're getting, see, there you go. Now we get in tension on the crank, you see how it bounced back. So you go slow. Once you match it, then we do 60. God dang it. Hold up, if I lock this thing. There you go. Alright. 60. And this one has about 4% leakage or so. Yeah. Yeah, right at like 3.5. So it's still pretty good too. It's a little bit lower than the other ones, but it's still pretty good. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna wait for the compressor to turn off, and then I'm gonna see if I can hear something. It's so small of a leak that I might not hear it, but I'm gonna see if I can hear anything from the exhaust or from the intake. Main thing is not to hear from here, because if it's from here, then your piston rings are gone. If it's the exhaust or the intake, then maybe you can throw a little bit cleaner to clean up the valves, and then you will bring that back up. So yeah, let me turn off the air. Has to be all quiet so you can hear it. And let's see, I'm gonna do the same thing. Put it right at 16 so we can have enough pressure to hear the air. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, I hear a lot of air from here. I don't know if you can hear on the camera. You can also feel it. And I think that's gonna be a little too much. Dang it. Let me go ahead and do the other one and listen to that, because I did the other side. I did the other side and I didn't hear anything coming from here. But let me check the front one, see if I can hear something. But it seems like that cylinder, either the piston rings or the piston ring cap is too big, or the piston is having some ring gland failure. So now you're gonna hear some air coming out from the oil, because you're passing the piston rings. This is just air, but I think it's a little too much. So let's check it out. Around. There you go. Yeah, so that's just the piston ring, the gap on it, because you can hear too, and this was only 2% leakage, so we're good. So again, the recommended is less than 20% difference between cylinders. On race engines application, of course, you want to be between 1 and 10, so you can get the most horsepower and the most out of the engine. So this is the way to do a leak down test. What I'm gonna do next, I'm probably gonna do a compression test just to double check the reading the owner has, and see what's going on, because the leakage is like almost dead on. We're talking about between the best one, which he said was 150 to 135. That's like 15% on compression, right? But on leak down, this one has 2%, which is number 3, and number 4 has 3.5. So we're talking about maybe a 2% difference on the leak down. So I think this engine is actually pretty good, and it was just the tune that caused this. So yeah, let me start putting everything back together or do a compression test and see what we got. All right guys, so we ran a compression test on the SDI, and definitely something going on with cylinder number 4. So cylinder number 4 has got a 103 compression, and the other ones over here got like 122, 123. That's cold. So we're gonna pull the motor, pull the head off, and then see what the damage. So I hope this video show them how to do a leak down test. Compression test is pretty straightforward. Put it on, crank it. But yeah, leak down test. So I put the leak down test on the other cylinders, and I heard some air coming out from the oil cap, which you always gonna hear it. But number 4 was a little more, was a little louder than the normal. So he's gonna take it home for now, and then we're gonna pull the motor apart and see what's going on with cylinder 4, and then get it fixed. So I hope you like the video, and like, subscribe, and share. And to the next one.